This is a super easy pate. So I've got 350 grams of mushrooms. You can use any mushrooms you like. I've used chestnut mushrooms. I've very roughly chopped, including the stalks. I've got 3 sprigs of thyme. I'm going to nestle those in. Either use 1 large banana shallot, or my banana shallots were quite small, so I've used 2. Sprinkle those in. We're going to put in 2 garlic cloves. I'll peel those. 25 grams of dried mushrooms. Did I say preheat the oven to 120? Garlic goes in whole. Then approximately 60 grams of butter that we're going to dot around the tin. Season with a little bit of salt and pepper. Let's cover it tightly. And this will go in the oven for 1 hour. Time is up on the mushrooms. Take out the thyme sprigs. Everything else, including all of the collected liquid, tip it into the bowl of a food processor. I'm going to put in about, this is 250 grams, so I'm going to put in about 100 grams of ricotta. I'm going to put in a teaspoon of sherry vinegar. You can always adjust it afterwards. I'm going to give it another little bit of salt and a really good grind of pepper. I don't have truffle oil. Truffle oil would be fantastic in there, but make sure it's the good quality stuff. And I'm going to blitz this up into a paste. I'll leave the film running. Taste it. Adjust the seasoning if you want to have any more salt. I might put a drop more vinegar in. And then if you're having a kitchen table supper with friends, you could just put this in 1 serving dish and share it, or you can put it in individual pots. It's completely up to you. But whatever you do, put it in the fridge for a couple of hours. Bon appetit. So I made a batch of mushroom pate, and I was thinking of other ways to use it, and I've got these lovely little croustades. Somebody messaged me to say the way you can stop them going soggy, it's a brilliant idea, is to paint the bottom of them with melted butter, and that will be a shield to stop them going soggy. I painted the inside of these croustades with melted butter, and I'm just going to pop these in the fridge for a couple of minutes. With the pate, before you serve it, taste it, adjust it if you want a little bit more salt. I've actually added a little bit more sherry vinegar because I really want it to sing. And the important thing with canapés is you want them to look beautiful. Now, this is not a beautiful thing. It's not a very nice colour. So I am going to add, because I love the flavour of pink peppercorns. And then I've got, which I think I've shown you before, these lovely micro herbs. These are little chives. Just pop those on top. Look how beautiful that is. Preheat the oven to 180 degrees. I'm only using half a sheet because I don't want to make a really big tart. You want to just lightly score about 1 centimetre the whole way round, not going all the way through. Prick the middle bit with a fork, brush all over with some beaten egg, and then I'm just going to put this in the fridge while the oven heats up and while we prepare the carrots. I've got some of these rainbow carrots, just because they look pretty. I don't peel my carrots, I do wash them. I'm just going to cut the tops off and carefully halve them. I have drizzled my carrots with some olive oil and about a tablespoon of maple and syrup, salt and pepper, and I've mixed it all up so they're completely coated. Both of these are going to go in the oven. This should take 20 minutes and the carrots the same. For the mushroom, I'm using the mushroom pate that I made the other day that has now turned out to be so incredibly versatile to use for so many things. Everything's come out the oven after 20 minutes. Flatten the middle bit. Oh, it's hot, just be careful because everything is so hot. I'm going to spoon on some of that mushroom mixture. Put the carrots on in alternate colours. I'm not going to waste the juices, so drizzle the juices on. I'm also going to sprinkle with a little bit, I don't have fresh tarragon, so I'm just sprinkling with a little bit of dried tarragon, not too much, it's powerful stuff, dried tarragon. Grinding of pepper. I also had this, I've just got like a few walnuts left in a packet. You could use hazelnuts, you could use almonds. I just want that little extra bit of crunch. Chop them. I thought about roasting them and sprinkling them on at the end, and I thought, why not just do it all in one? Saves a job. So just sprinkle with some nuts, and this will go back in the oven for 10 minutes. It's literally just long enough to heat up the mushroom. And then to finish, if you want to put a tiny drizzle of extra maple syrup, that's completely up to you and totally allowed. Carrot and mushroom tart. And one more use of the mushroom pate. I'm going to make a mushroom risotto. In here, I've got 600 ml of stock, and I've got 150 grams of carnaroli rice. You want to melt the butter. The stock you need to heat up and also salt it to taste. So salt it, test it. That is the only salt that will be going in the risotto. So if you're using a homemade stock, you'll probably need a lot more salt than if you're using stock cubes, which has salt in. Butter is melted. Rice is going in, and I'm going to toast that rice. I always use a wooden spoon for stirring risottos. I don't know why. I think I heard it somewhere. If anybody knows if there's a reason why you should use a wooden spoon, let me know. Use the back of your finger to just feel if the rice is hot. The rice is nice and hot and is starting to toast. I've got a very finely chopped shallot. It's chopped to the size, each piece is like the size of a grain of rice. By stirring that into the hot rice, it will cook a lot quicker. I can see that the shallots are nice and soft. That didn't take long. Turning the heat up, I'm going to add a generous splash of wine. I'm going to drop the heat back down now and stir that until it starts to get absorbed. Wine is absorbed. I'm now going to start very slowly adding the stocks, a little splash at a time. This part of the cooking process will take about 30 minutes to help me so I can gauge how long I've been stirring. I usually set my timer for 30 minutes, but also when you get to about 20 minutes, you can start tasting to see if your rice is cooked. So you keep stirring, let the stock be absorbed, and then keep adding, and I'll see you in 30 minutes. Oh, actually, before I see you in 30 minutes, I have added some creme fraiche to my mushroom pate. It's about 4 tablespoons that I'm going to add. I've tasted my rice. It's not chalky. Every single grain is singular. I'm now going to add the mushroom. I'm going to put it all in. Stir it through and just let that heat for a minute or two so that everything is nice and hot. Beautiful mushroom risotto. You can see it's not... Decorate it with some chives. You know me, always a bit of black pepper. One last garnish. I'll do a film on these. These are the leaves from Brussels sprouts, and I just love them as a garnish. Just put a few on top. Mushroom risotto made with my mushroom pate. I'm making this simply because I've got leftover mushroom risotto from the other day. You want it very, very cold. It's going to be a lot easier to work with, and also wet hands. You can make your arancini any size you want. I don't like mine too enormous. So I've put a little bit in my hand. It's about just over a teaspoon. I'm putting a square of mozzarella, and then covering it over with some more rice. And now I'm going to squash it together and make a ball. And now I will just work through all of this. So I was just thinking as I'm preparing these, taleggio cheese would be amazing. These would be, as a starter, I would serve 3 of these. And also with these, I'm not going to fry them. We're going to oven bake them so that they're not quite as... I don't like frying. I think that was almost the point where I gave up the supper club. Dietaries got really out of hand, which is fine. I understand people having dietaries, but it wasn't what I did at the restaurant. It was a set menu. When it got to the stage where in one dinner for maybe 24 covers that I would have 6 different dietaries, It was impossible. Okay, these are done. These are done. We're now going to set up a breadcrumb station. So first of all, I'm going to lightly dust these all over with flour. This is going to make a lot of washing up, but it's the best way that I've found. So it's 2 spoons to coat them in the flour, another 2 spoons to coat it in the egg, and then 2 spoons to coat in panko. Panko breadcrumbs, I have found, are definitely the best breadcrumbs to use. These need to go back in the fridge for ideally an hour. Preheat the oven to 200 degrees. These have really firmed up. They've actually been in the fridge overnight. I'm going to spray them with an oil spray. You can use olive oil. I'm using sunflower oil. Put them on a tray lined with baking paper. Spray again on the other side, making sure they're completely coated, and bake these for 20 to 25 minutes, turning them over halfway through. These have come out the oven. You need to leave them for 10 to 15 minutes because they'll be quite soft, and they'll also be too hot to eat. Let's try one. Oh my God, that's gorgeous, especially with that bit of mozzarella in the middle.